guys, welcome back to The Horror with your hostess with the mostest, Jezebel. As always, we are continuing our Friday the 13th franchise review, and we are now at the sequel that I feel a lot of you have been interested in my thoughts about, and that is Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, and boy was it a new beginning! Wow! So, this one is quite often pretty hated among the franchise. It is one of those more hated sequels. There's a couple of other ones that a lot of people don't enjoy. This one specifically gets quite a bit of hate, and I know I might ruffle some feathers with this, but you know what? Honestly, I will admit it is one of the weakest sequels we have in the franchise. Do I think it's the worst, though? Absolutely not. It's got some qualities about it that I truly enjoy, but it does have quite a few flaws, I will admit that. But let's crack into it. Let's go into my review. So, like I said, this is the fifth installment, A New Beginning, and it is a new beginning because we have a Jason that is not really a Jason. What a lot of fans were kind of thinking they were going to be doing with this one was having the Tommy Jarvis character from Part 4, played by Corey Feldman, to then kind of take on the torch and become Jason himself. Kind of rightfully so. He saw this demented monster man go around, kill everyone, attack his sister, and whatnot. So he's pretty messed up in the head. And especially with that final scene with Tommy looking into the camera and just opens up his eyes and just that very, very evil look on his face and everything. Kind of rightfully so. So we come to Part 5, and it is set up where Tommy is now in a halfway house, and it is not, this is not played by Corey Feldman like in the first one. Corey Feldman does have a brief cameo at the very beginning of this movie in sort of like a dream sequence. And basically the reason why Corey Feldman was not in this movie is because he actually was signed on to do The Goonies, which was filming at the same time. So unfortunately, we didn't really get him throughout the entire film, nor did we ever get to see him again in a Friday the 13th film. So, whatever, though, whatever. But as I was saying, we have it set up where, Tommy is now being taken to like a halfway house for troubled youth and everything. Really, the only ones that we kind of know about their troubles or can kind of assume about some of their troubles is Tommy, of course, which we know his backstory and everything. He's been messed up by Jason and everything, trying to work all that stuff out. The other one that we kind of have an idea of and we're kind of explained a little bit is Joey, the mentally handicapped boy who's there and everything. It is said, spoiler alert, obviously, after he is killed, we find out that his mom had actually passed away during childbirth, and his dad, who no one seems to know who it is, apparently up and left. We do soon find out that his father is the ambulance driver and everything. And the third one that we kind of can assume sort of why he's there is the Victor character, the gentleman who is chopping the wood and everything. Pretty safe to say he's got some anger issues and everything, some anger management he's got to work out, so that's pretty obvious. A lot of the other kids, for the most part, we don't necessarily know why they're there. There's really no further character development. There's a young man there who has sort of like a stutter and everything. I guess he's there for his stutter. That's a pretty shitty thing to do, is to put your kid in a halfway house if all he has is a stutter, just saying. But, the rest of them are kind of just kind of there assuming that they've got some actual, like, issues. We don't know what they are. But I guess at the end of the day, it really doesn't even matter because they're all going to be hacked to death. So, but yeah. But yeah, so this one starts off with Joey pretty much getting hacked to pieces. I mean, no one really likes him. I mean, all these kids really don't want to be there. And then on top of it, no one really wants to, be friends with Joey or anything. Even though it is pretty, I feel like Joey's a pretty sympathetic character. Yeah, I know he's a little bit of a nuisance and everything. But really, honestly, he's just, he wants to be part of the group. He wants to help out and stuff. So it's, I think most of us with the level head feel something towards Joey and everything. Those kids, unfortunately, just could care less about being around Joey. And when he's talking to Vic, he gets killed and everything because Vic just gets fed up with him and everything and kills him with an axe. So then we are then set up with the ambulance drivers coming and everything. And this is when we find out that Joey's father, Roy, is actually his father. We kind of, we don't maybe quite know that at the moment, but we do. It is kind of revealed at the end and everything. And so that kind of triggers Roy a bit to take some action. And spoiler alert once again, obviously. Roy, we come to find out, is the killer instead of Tommy, which I like, but I don't like at the same time. Here's why I like it. I like it because, this entire time we're kind of thinking that possibly Tommy's going to take over the whole Jason element and everything and become, the next Jason and everything. So we're kind of being led up to believe, especially after Joey's killing, might be triggering something within Tommy himself to maybe officially snap and start going off and killing everyone after seeing this, and plus two, I mean, they were kind of a couple of moments there throughout the movie where the other kids there didn't really welcome Tommy quite as much, didn't really welcome it. It was kind of like, oh, okay, new kid, whatever, like, we're all just kind of here and we don't want to be here. So I didn't get really a warm reception when he first came and stuff, except for Reggie, obviously. Reggie kind of befriends him right away. But the other kids there, like I said, could kind of care less about being there, could care less about anyone else who's there. So, we have that where it's kind of like, okay, so we have this ambulance driver, who is seen, arrives and sees that his son's been killed. This is literally how it's broken to him that his son's been killed and is dead, which is probably one of the worst ways to find out that your kid's dead, is to show up, at work and you show up to a scene and your kid's dead. That sucks. I'm sorry. Anyone would snap at that. I'm just sorry. I'm not even sorry. I'm just sorry. I'm not sorry about that. But no, it's kind of interesting to see because you're kind of like, well, who's doing it? Is it Roy or is it Tommy who's doing this? So, I like that. It is a shame, though, that they didn't go to that Tommy route and everything, but whatever. But yeah, and I know a lot of people are pretty upset about that it wasn't Tommy who took on the torch. But whatever. And I feel like any time that they set this up in any franchise or anything, they never follow through with it. A director might not follow through with it, or the film studio might not really follow through with it. I mean, a couple of other examples is like Nightmare on Elm Street. Part 2, you can kind of say they were doing this, and in a way, they kind of successfully did it with Jesse of Freddy kind of trying to take over his body and everything, and like have him go do the killing. I think that would have been kind of an interesting aspect to go down, where Freddy kind of takes on the body of whomever in each movie and has them kind of kill everyone, kind of be their little minion and everything. They also did again in Friday the 13th, in Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 5, the dream child with Jacob, Alice's baby that's growing inside of her, is kind of, using his dreams. She could then get to the kids and everything. So he kind of finds a loophole with Alice. Once again, they, kind of did that. They, did it. And then, of course, after that, they never really bring it up again, ever. And then they also did it with Halloween Part 4/5. We see at the end of Halloween 4 with Jamie, played by Danielle Harris, with the cum suit on and everything, with the knife, after she or not kills, but stabs her mother and everything, her stepmother or foster mother or whatever. And then it's like the next movie, and they just kind of forget about that aspect. So I just feel like every time that they do this, they never follow through on it. They set it up, don't follow through with it. So, which is a shame. It is a shame because it would be interesting to see one of these films kind of actually carry through with that, but we never ended up getting it. Another thing that I actually kind of enjoy about this movie is the Ethel and Junior characters. Ethel alone has some of the best lines. Would you shut the fuck up, you stupid dildo? Like, she just cracks me up. I mean, that's kind of like one of the reasons why I will watch this sequel and everything. I don't watch the sequel quite as often as I do others, but I do watch this one a lot of times for her lines and everything. And like I said, even Junior, I think Junior has like some good lines and everything. Just the way he's so like duh and everything. I love it. Something interesting too about this movie is the Violet character, the girl with like the blonde hair and like the black tips and everything, crimped hair and everything. Her death was actually reshot or done differently. So her original death was not supposed to be, pinned against the wall, stabbed through the stomach. She was actually, and this is something that we learn in, where are you? In the Crystal Lake Memories. If you have not seen this, check it out. It is very good. Very long, but very good. That her character was actually going to be killed via her vajayjay. She was going to get like an axe or a knife or something straight up the whoop. We never got that because then we would have gotten an X rating, but whatever. But yeah, instead we got a crappy little knife in the torso. But yeah, whatever. But yeah. So I mean, this movie, it, like I said, I know a lot of people do not like this movie. I really respect that. I do. It's not, even for me, like I said, it's got its moments, it's got its perks for me, but more than anything, it does have a lot of flaws. Thing that I do kind of like, the positives I like about it, like I said, are Ethel and Joey. I think they always crack me up every time I watch the movie. And then also too, I do like the fact that they didn't have Tommy be Jason. I think that they still could have gone down that road with the Tommy character, because at the end, he does have that sort of like that dream of stabbing with her Pam in the stomach and everything. So I think he still could have been, like, this movie could have been seen as him really trying to overcome what had happened to him a few years before, or who knows, maybe it was like a week before, and he just went through some massive changes like Jason did between parts 2 and 4. He could have been kind of used as that, as where he's trying to, like I said, overcome all this, but then just seeing the, Joey's dead body and everything, and seeing all these murders, and then seeing someone else put on the Jason mask just re-triggered everything and finally made him snap. So, and that's the other thing where, I think towards the beginning, they easily could have done either Roy or Tommy, because, Tommy does see, he's kind of in the house still, but he's looking down at like Joey's covered body, blood's coming through and everything. He literally could have snapped at that point of being like, oh my God, it's triggering too much. So, but they didn't, whatever. But yeah, like I was saying, I do enjoy that they actually had Roy take on the sort of like Jason character. Plus too, something that I give it credit for with having Roy is, it's sort of, in a way, a slight nod to the first one with Miss Voorhees, because, she saw her son drown and everything years before. Now you have the other side of a father kind of going through the same thing, and, like I said, showing up to work, showing up to call, and you see your son dead, and you can't even tell anyone because they just said, oh, the father just, like, up and left. But yeah, whatever. So let me know. I'm gonna say, let me know what you guys think about this. I know a lot of you guys are not the biggest fans of this. That's okay. I still want to hear your opinions about it. Let me know too. For up to this point, who your favorite final girls are / final guys. Now that we have Tommy, the Tommy character and everything. And I'll be honest. For this one, the Pam character as the final girl, I just do not dig her that much. I really don't. I find her pretty boring. The character just didn't do much for me. The actor who played Tommy, the Shepherd, John Shepherd, he did a pretty good job. I know, it's a much different Tommy than what we saw in the last one. But I still think he did a pretty good job. I like that he really sort of took the character and made it seem like, okay, Tommy's still going through stuff and all this. So I would have to pick him in this one as my favorite final person. Sorry, Reggie the Reckless, you're just too damn annoying for me too. So I'm just saying. But like I said, you guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this movie. Who are some of your favorites so far of the franchise, of the series, in the first 5 movies? Let me know what you think, and as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.